They're fun, they're irrepressible, they're paranormal investigators, they're the hosts of Adventures with Brichel, and they are my friends. Brian Murray and Rochelle Stratton coming up next on Survivor Angels.
It's time for Survivor Angels, an approach to strengthen trauma survivors. Here, you can escape what draws negativity and engage your positive abilities and the gifts that you've always had. Let's activate your angels. And to help you on that journey, here's Chaplain Jodi.
Two of my absolute favorite people in the whole world are on this edition of Survivor Angels. Brian Murray, Rochelle Stratton, Brian Murray.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Well, I'm great. I know you guys are kind of just, trying to keep things going here, but it's pre-holidays and everybody's got stuff, whether it's health stuff or it's just busy stuff or whatever going on, right?
It's that time of year where everybody's trying to get through Christmas, trying to get through things, holidays.
Yeah.
And it's the Z season.
And if you have kids, which you both have kids.
Yes.
I do not have any diseases.
I think mine came from people with cons.
Yours came from.
I know mine did.
My goodness.
Well, okay then. So tonight, because we're recording this at night, I don't know when people will watch or listen to this, but let's talk about some of those other entities that aren't as common as spirits, demons, angels, although maybe some of these entities fall into some of those categories. Cryptids.
Okay. Love them.
Like, what would be your definition of a cryptid?
Ooh.
Besides weird.
I think a cryptid would not be, I guess I would kind of put it under, like, not a living human like us, like human beings. I don't know, because like I don't want to insult any cryptids.
Right.
But like, so a person, a human being person with their soul, they pass on, their soul stays around or their energy stays around, and that's a ghost. Like it was once a living person. And I think a cryptid is a whole different type of entity in itself, because it's kind of like a mystical creature to me. Like,
I think worldly and unworldly creature. Like, I think there are some from here, and I think there are some from other dimensions that make an appearance here.
Like multi-dimensional creatures.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I definitely go along with that. And, the mystical or mythical piece, I think there's a lot of truth to that.
Yes.
I mean, because you go back and read some of the fairy tales, and it's like, who were those creatures they were talking about?
Yeah,
right?
Fairies go way back.
They prefer fae.
There you go.
Right? They prefer fae or the woodland folk. Is that it?
Mm-hmm.
I like what you're doing. You're smarting on me here.
Smarting on you?
Yeah, she's smart. I'm just like fairies, and she's just hitting me with the proper terms.
Well, I've heard that
if you
fae think that fairies is like a derogatory term towards them.
Really?
Yeah.
I see the Irish would see that as very complimentary for one of these mythical things to be called a fairy, because that's all part of their folklore.
Right.
Yeah. Like I would think that it would be a compliment too, but apparently it's not. or so I've been told that it is
The
not.
research has led you down that path.
The research has led me down the path that they do not like to be called fairies.
More
Okay.
fae.
Fae,
Okay.
woodland folk.
I like this.
But no, I just got back from Crypticon and
Right?
yeah, it was awesome. It was a ton of fun. We're gonna go on a Bigfoot hunt, and I'm looking forward to it because I've never been on a Bigfoot hunt. I will be honest, I haven't really researched cryptids too much. I mean, I have recently, but for the most part, I have stuck to ghosts and spiritual things. So it's a little bit more difficult, I think, to hunt or investigate cryptids.
I like all of it though.
Brian, have you
Uh,
investigated them, Brian?
it's a tricky question. Investigated, like solely going out to look for that? No. Do I
Okay.
feel like I have ran into things that weren't like ghostly in nature? Yes.
Absolutely.
And it may, when those times have happened, that makes me go and try to research things that I think this could be, or what I think they could possibly be. I do firmly believe that there are Sasquatch. I think everybody in our region, everybody in your region, everybody across America that has any kind of woodland or anything has had somebody or multiple people that have ran across that. The government has told us that we have aliens.
Yeah. Which, what if these different cryptids are aliens from different planets?
There you go.
You know,
And then, okay, go ahead, Brian.
I also believe that cryptids right now are coming to the forefront faster and more readily for us. Like I think it's becoming more of the thing. Does that make sense? Like
Yes.
we know about ghosts. We've done the ghosts. We've investigated ghosts for a long, long, long time, and everybody's got a grasp on, what to expect when you go into a haunted home and how they'll act and all that. But
Right.
recently, with people telling us that there are aliens, and with people like with technology, phones and the ring cameras and things like that, cryptids are becoming thrown into our face, and we're not really asking for it.
I think it also has to do with the amount of development that's going on. Like, there are towns and cities, like, there's not as much woods and things. We're impeding on their habitat.
So where are they going to go?
Where are they going to go? You're going to maybe run across them. It's like I have deer in my backyard all the time. And that's because there used to be woods. Now they don't have a place. Like, they go their same route, and it's like the woods aren't there anymore. There's houses.
That's a good point. Hey, did you guys see the picture on the trail cam of the dog man?
Yes.
That it's like
No.
been just a couple of days?
No.
Is it crazy or what?
That is insane crazy.
So like those, because I listen to a bunch of different dog man podcasts and things like that. And I know that I've gone through over 100 cases and listened to what they say, and they're all similar. So when you got all these people saying the same thing, it's hard to look away. And now you're getting proof on, like I was talking about, like everybody's cameras, their camera phones, the ring cameras, things like that. We're capturing these things pretty simple now. And I like it a lot.
I feel like
it too.
Dogman is probably your favorite cryptid. You talk about it a lot. You do a lot of research on Dogman.
Dogman is definitely, because when I read the stories and when I've listened to the stories and I can hear the people talk about it, they all sound the same, and they all sound much like we would sound if we said we saw a full body apparition walk down the hallway. They know what they're talking. They feel like they know what they're talking about. Like
they know what they saw.
They know what they've seen. Yeah, so I think that makes it a little bit more fascinating to me than somebody saying they've seen the New Jersey Devil.
Okay.
I haven't heard as many.
Yes.
Does that make sense? Am I boring anybody?
No. Because now my follow-up question is,
What-
Bigfoot, everybody.
Where were we?
She asked us what we thought they were.
And you got a 15-minute answer.
She's used to us.
I love 15-minute answers, especially from you guys. So everybody, I mean, across the board, everybody understands the Bigfoot piece.
Mhm.
Now we've got, like you said, dogmen. How would you describe the difference between the two? Because when you say Bigfoot, Bigfoot can look differently when you talk to people, whether if they're in Washington State or Florida or New Mexico or wherever. So how does, if you take in general terms Bigfoot and put them up against in general terms Dogman, what are the similarities? What are the differences?
Well, I think the similarities between a dogman and Sasquatch is they're hairy. They live in the woods normally.
I think one of the differences is that I feel like a dog man would have feet similar to a dog,
Mhm.
and Bigfoot has feet like a human with the toe, like
Ape-like.
ape-like. Yes.
Also, Sasquatch does most of its walking upright, where a dogman can be seen upright and on all fours. I think they're definitely two different creatures. But when you talked about New Mexico, that's where it's tricky because in New Mexico, with the Native American cultures and the skinwalkers and things like that, these creatures apparently, and that's another one that's so, I think that might be the one that's on the rise the most, is the skinwalkers.
Yes.
They can take the shape of just about anything that they want to.
I think all of these names that we have, which is why like I'm uneducated on it. It's just my opinion. I'm going to research more now that I've been to Crypticon. I've made some connections with people who, this is what they do. Just like I investigate ghosts, they investigate this stuff. So I will ask them about things. But I feel like skinwalkers, dogman, werewolves, Sasquatch, Bigfoot, they're the same thing, just depends on where you're at. Not like you know what I mean? Like a Sasquatch and a Bigfoot, I feel like is the same thing. It just depends on what region you are. Kind of like pop,
What
Coke,
you're calling it?
soda type thing.
Yeti,
Yeti, like the Yetis, Abominable Snowman. Like,
Momo. There was a creature called
Yes.
Momo was terrifying.
Everybody. My parents used to tell me that you go out there and you don't come in when you're supposed to, Momo's going to get you.
Yeah. And then what if us parents making up these little white lies actually created these creatures? Because
I believe in Momo.
There's a collective consciousness that I believe our brains are very powerful. Like what if that all of us talking about it? Well, what was it? Slender Man
was a thing.
But wasn't a thing, and then it became a thing because so many people talked about it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So that sort of takes us back to the fairy tale piece, where you go back to the 1800s, the 1700s, when books were starting to come in and these stories were being written, and there were creatures in those, the big bad wolf. For what? Well, is the big bad wolf the same thing as Dogman? And it's just been there for centuries, or has it evolved? And like you say, the collective consciousness, is it just something that somebody started telling stories and nobody ever catches real definitive evidence?
I mean, there's like cave drawings with this stuff in there. There's the pyramids have these drawings on there. We're just calling them different names.
Yeah, I will say that I am a firm believer that if someone writes about it or makes a movie about it, I think it's because they've seen it. I don't think that people are like, oh, I don't think that vampires were fake and then they made them real. Like, I think that someone probably saw someone that had the qualities and the characteristics of a vampire, and they like made the story about it. And I feel like all these stories are based off real life things. Because a lot of the time I feel like writers write about things that inspire them.
You should never say that you're uneducated on this stuff because you're pretty dang bright.
Well, thank you.
You're brilliant. Don't ever dull your shine.
Don't let anyone dull my sparkle. Thank you.
No, I think you're pretty smart. I'm over here like, I'm doing this with my head. Yeah, all right. Go. You do this. I'm a fan. Sorry.
So am I.
Yeah.
I'm
She's
a
making
fan
a lot
of
of
you
sense
guys.
over here. I'm not even trying. I'm just agreeing with her like, yeah, you're right.
I think, I don't know. I'm just thinking, I think about things differently sometimes.
Well, she was just at Crypticon. She got a whole lot of input.
She did.
A lot of stuff rubbed off on her.
I got a lot of books on them. I don't do a lot of the reading, but I could get on there and listen to some people talk about it though.
I will say I have talked to Brian before I went to Crypticon about and I've talked to my husband about it as well, that I think that all the stuff people write about, like all these different cryptids and like vampires and things like that, I think that it's because it's based off of an actual thing that happened to them. And they're like, I'm going to write about it.
I agree with her. And I also think about this, like when I think about ghosts, these stories about ghosts and things like that have been around since the beginning of time. Literally. So for people that don't believe, and that's your opinion and everything, I just find it very hard to believe that one person one time said, I'm going to call this thing a ghost and I'm going to make this story. And it's going to go centuries and centuries and centuries. And all these people are going to believe in it without somebody else having this experience like that one person.
Yeah. And then it just builds after the experience.
Yes.
They're like, people, it's the same thing with like us being in the paranormal. Normally people don't talk to us about ghosts until they find out what we do. And then they're like, oh, so I can talk to you about my experience. And then everyone has an experience. But you have to let them feel comfortable enough to talk about it. And I feel like people, like the people who've ran into Dogman or Bigfoot or like probably scared them so much that they were like, I don't care if anyone knows about it. I have to tell someone. And then that one person was like, okay, well, like I've had that experience too, but I didn't want anybody to think I was nuts and tell anyone. So,
or there are the people out there that have more to say about this, have caught more, done more research, got better pictures, but are afraid to talk about it.
Right.
I've heard a lot of those podcasts, those guys would talk about once they've seen this, like Dogman, for instance, once they had their experience, they could not leave their house after that. They couldn't take their trash out just because they were so scared of seeing it again that they never even wanted to bring it back up. So there are people out there that had an experience with Dogman, Bigfoot, Puckwudgies. I just like saying that one. I like saying that word.
Someone Puckwudgies at the Crypticon. And I was like, I know what that is because I just got done researching it because of an experience that we can't talk about. But it was one of those things that like I had never heard that cryptid ever. And then we experienced something and then Brian was like, have you heard of this? And then we were researching it. And then that person came up and like was like talking about Puckwudgies. And I was like, oh my goodness, it's been how many years I've been in the paranormal and I've never heard that term until this month.
Well, this is another one that's been coming up lately. That's why we started like
seeing what's going on with it.
Yeah, because this is one that's been popping up around lately.
Right. Just like Rougarou. Rougarou is another one that's starting to kind of, push its way out there too.
I-
So all of this kind of begs the question, because people are afraid. What do you think the intentions are behind the cryptids? Are they good intentions? Are they not so good? Are they evil intentions? Or is it all mixed up like every other spirit, angel, whatever entity you want to throw out there?
I think that option right there, the last one.
I
Okay.
I think it probably depends on which ones you're dealing with. Like, I feel like a skinwalker maybe doesn't have good intentions.
But I
That's
think
just me personally.
right.
But I feel like a Bigfoot, a dog man, they may just be going about their normal business.
Surviving.
And it's like animal instinct. Like you startled them type thing.
Right.
And if someone has a bad encounter with them, I don't necessarily think it's intentional. I guess I look at it like my dog. He's the sweetest thing ever. Like, he's sweet, isn't he?
I like him.
Like, he's so sweet. He's cuddly and everything. But if he gets scared, he will nip at you. Like, and then you have to reset him, which is a little tap on the nose to remind him like where he's at and that he's safe or whatever. But he doesn't have bad intentions. I think it's like, so I guess I kind of feel like it goes back to us impeding on their habitat. Like, they may not have bad intentions. They may feel like they're cornered and don't know what to do,
Right.
type thing.
A crocodile's not going to come to your house and eat you in your bedroom. Okay. But if you go out to the swamp and you're in their area and you scare them, then they're going to eat your ass. Okay.
You can't say that.
They're going to eat your buttocks. You know what I mean?
Your booty hole.
So I feel like, yes, I feel like a Bigfoot or a dog man obviously are way stronger than us. They can hide way better than us. If they wanted to do something to harm us, they absolutely could. Just like a mountain lion. We got mountain lions in this area. How many have you seen?
I've seen none.
Okay, and he can eat your ass.
Yeah. But I
Right.
haven't actually impeded on a mountain lion's
How do you-
habitat
How do you know?
that I'm aware of. Like, I haven't tried to. So, I mean, I guess that's how I feel. Like, I feel like skinwalkers, because skinwalkers are people. Like, so it could be, I may be wrong, but I'm so idiotic when it comes to this, but I've heard
You're not.
it's a person that
Oh.
has to kill a family member to become a skinwalker.
There's all sorts of different.
Like, different theories on it, but like, I feel like that you may not have good intentions if you're killing a family member or a loved one to be able to have this power to turn into whatever you want. But again, maybe I didn't hear that. Maybe I'm getting it mixed up. I feel like I need to quit talking about it because I'm not sure.
Because none of this is definitive. And
Right.
you know that from paranormal investigating. You know,
Yeah.
you see this, it could be this, it's probably that, but it's never 100% except in very rare situations. So let me just, if nothing else, throw something out at you as food for thought. Angels can manifest in any shape, form that they want. Fallen angels can manifest as humans, they can manifest as animals, and I believe they can manifest as cryptids if they want to. I believe it's all systems go, everything is fair game. And so it's possible, I believe, that some cryptids are actually fallen angels. So they're the evil ones that are being controlled by the devil himself, that are out there and are up to no good.
That is good.
I
Food
like
for
all your
thought.
beliefs. I like all your beliefs.
That is good food for thought.
Just like I like to tell people, Rochelle likes to tell people, the only person that knows 100% in the ghost area is the dead themselves. So,
And I mean, we've talked to some ghosts and they don't know either.
yeah, they're all like,
They're like,
oh,
I don't
no.
know. So
Last I heard, I was supposed to be here.
the creator.
Yeah.
The creator knows how everything's possible. and
Yeah.
he's capable of what, I think. So
Doesn't mean I ain't gonna
There you
try to
go.
find out.
yeah, we can try to find out, and
I'm
we'll
gonna
just
try to
get
find
a
out.
thousand more questions
Listen here, you
and
little
no answer.
yes. Listen here, you little puckwudgie. I'm coming for your ass.
You said it again.
I did.
He's cussed so
Sorry.
many
3
times on this,
times.
and
I
I
am not
haven't
fun.
at all.
I'm a terrible human.
But I mean, isn't that what makes all of this so fascinating and so interesting? Because it leads you this way and it leads you that way, but the conversation never ends.
No. And I know Brian and I like talk about different things all the time. And I can tell you that I have probably about 10 theories on things. None of them coincide with the other. It's like, it could be this, or it could be this, or it could be this. And it's like, it's a theory. It's not, I don't necessarily believe it. I think it's possible. It could. It's just me thinking, what if? And when I die, maybe I'll find out.
I like whatever she said.
Ditto.
Okay, we had an incident maybe a month ago at Harriman Hospital.
Harriman.
Harriman Hospital.
Harry man, yeah.
That's what it looks like.
Right.
I don't know what this excuse me. I don't know what this was or is. I got really worked up over this portion, didn't I?
He did.
Okay.
He really did.
So you've been on an investigation with
He
us.
went
Yes.
and asked
Several.
every single person in our group and told them to look him in the eye and not lie to him when he asked this question.
I was in zone and dead serious.
Yes.
Not in a hateful way.
Was it you? Don't lie to me.
Okay, so let me give you the scenario. You know how we put people in different areas, let them get their experience. Well, in these hospitals, these hallways are very long and they're very dark. So it's as simple as you are going to walk down that hall, no flashlight, see if you can make it down there. Okay? So we had a group of like 10 people, 10 or 12 people, and they went down there and they went down there. Well, after like the second or third person went down there, we heard someone say, it wasn't that bad down there, except for
the lab
coat
on the right.
On the right. Okay?
Okay.
Everybody goes down the hallway. Finally, at the end, I want to see this lab coat.
Because we're thinking there's a lab coat hanging up. We go down there. We're looking. We can't find a lab coat anywhere down there. And we're like, oh my goodness, someone's seen an apparition and they didn't know that they saw a ghost. Okay. So we went to our group and like told them, hey, whoever said that about the lab coat, it's not there.
There's no lab coat down there.
And they said, what? And we're like, yeah, there's no lab coat down there. We said, who saw it?
Seen it?
Like seen the lab coat. No one in our group said that.
Yet we all heard it. Everybody heard it. Nobody said the staff members that were with us from the hospital, they all heard it. Everybody heard it. Nobody said it.
We had a recorder going the whole time, and it's not on the recorder.
Didn't record it.
We think a ghost was like, yeah, it's not bad, but the lab coat on the right side, like screwing with us, essentially. Oh, yeah. Isn't that weird, though? A group of...
Very weird.
So we had 12 people in our group, plus me and Brian, plus the 2 people that are the volunteers helping us. So we had, 16 people? 16 people hear it, and no one said it, and it's not on the recorder that had all of our other conversations.
So it kind of brings me to this. When people are having these experiences with Bigfoot and Dogman and stuff like this, is there something triggering them to have that? Like they think that they were doing, was this a mass hallucination? Is this a hallucination of some sort? Just like in that instant. Because I was dead set on, I know I heard it. Like
Mhm.
the entire night after that. That's all I could really think about.
Yeah.
Are people having that kind of experience when they're seeing these other things?
Valid question. Very valid question. Wow.
I know.
Okay,
We have
so
to do an event
I have this.
because we always see ghosts.
We always see them.
I have this holiday light thing behind me here, and so let's shift and say, so what's the deal with Krampus? What are your thoughts on Krampus?
I tell my kids about Krampus all the time. I make them watch that Christmas movie. Be good, otherwise he'll come down and snatch you up and eat you.
I have never one time brought it up, and I was brushing up on it a little bit today, and I'm upset that I haven't brought this up.
Okay.
Like I missed 16 to 12 years because I was 16-year-old and 12-year-old.
Uh-huh.
I missed that whole opportunity to scare the shit out of them or to scare them to death.
What's that, 5 times now?
I've said a lot of bad words tonight. I'm so sorry.
But no.
Get your jar with coins.
I'm going to send you $100. Just send it back because it's Christmas time.
No, we'll just go out to eat next time we see each other.
Say, otherwise
I don't eat much.
we'll come get you.
Krampus is coming for me.
But no,
Please
the
don't.
Krampus thing, I mean, he'd be considered like a cryptid of some sort, I would think, wouldn't you? Or like, or is he considered like a demon of some sort?
Well, it's supposed to be half man, half demon, right?
I don't know.
It's like kind of like the Skinwalker.
Yeah, is Krampus a skinwalker that just comes into your house? Instead, you have to go.
Yeah.
I don't know. All I know,
We've got, we always tell our kids, well, if you don't behave, Santa's not going to bring you anything.
Right.
So, I mean, is this all the same thing?
I think that's the polite way of saying it. I think we should have all said it. Like, hey, mess up. You don't get the gifts, but the demon's coming. That's so terrible, but I love it.
quit saying it's terrible. I actually tell my kids that.
Oh,
I told them.
oh, well, I missed that, Mark. I'm gonna tell them tonight.
Yeah, my Levi watches videos around this time about Krampus all the time. Yeah, little
Really?
short films.
And it's just like,
That kid.
here's my list, Mom. Turns out I'm only getting you things.
Yeah, that kid is not scared of much.
No, he isn't.
And
There's always one. Always one.
I'm like, we have no fear there. He'd probably give Krampus a hug. I don't know.
Yeah, you're cute.
He's like, you're here for my brother, right? He'd be like, no, I'm here for you. And he's like, oh, okay, cool. How you want to do this?
I made these cookies for Santa, but bro, you can have some.
Yeah. I mean, I already ate the majority of them.
Yes. You don't get no milk. We are way.
You have to walk down water. Krampus.
We're all over the place. Sorry.
Holy water.
It's okay. I know you guys are so tired. So let's wrap this up by it is the holidays.
I
And
don't talk to you two fools anymore.
Yeah. Let's wrap it up because you guys suck.
this is the Spirits of Giving podcast, one of them for Survivor Angels. Do you have a charitable organization that you would like our listeners and our viewers to donate to over the holidays now on your behalf? Or just for the hell of it, or whatever.
Mine would be just for the hell of it. Backstoppers, which is a incredible organization, and I hold it very near and dear to my heart. My husband actually does fundraisers for Backstoppers, and we donate. But my husband is a firefighter, and Backstoppers helps first responder families that have lost their loved ones in the line of duty. So it encompasses all the first responders. And if you lose one of your family members, they essentially take care of the family and make sure that the kids do not have to worry about a thing. Their school's paid for, and like they just make sure that that family, they know that they can never replace the loved one that they lost, but they can make it a little bit easier on them financially. And I lost my brother-in-law in 2019. He was a firefighter. So I know what great work that they do, because Backstoppers has helped out my sister-in-law and my nieces and nephews a lot. So it's a really good organization that actually, does what they say they're going to do. So
Right. I like that a lot.
yeah.
Okay. Brian?
Mine's going to be shorter.
I'm
That was
sorry.
good. No, that was great. I'd always say wounded warriors. I think it's needed. And also, any of the cancer research, I don't know any off the top of my head, but anything to do with that, we got a good friend of ours that's battling that right now. And to help that would be pretty awesome too. That's what I
Right.
was.
And yeah, and I will put that on the narrative description of the podcast. I will put his link on so people can donate there, as well as Wounded Warriors and Backstoppers too. So anybody who's listening and watching, just check the narrative description of the podcast and you'll find the links to make those donations. So Brichel and Brian, Brichel, as I affectionately call you, as do many others, thank you so much. I
Thank
wish
you.
you happy holidays.
Thank you so much, and happy holidays
I
to
hope
you
we
as
didn't
well,
ruin your podcast.
and everyone else that is listening. Happy holidays, and I'm not an expert on anything, and I don't claim to be, so please don't come at me with the theories and the things.
She's completely brilliant. I promise.
Thanks again for joining Chaplain Jodi on Survivor Angels. For more information, go to chaplainjodi.me. That's chaplainjodi.me. And on Facebook at Survivor Angels-Chaplain Jodi. Sound effects for the show created by Andre Opate and provided by Pixbay. This is Dave Schrader. Until next time, sending you off to activate your angels.